everyone, and welcome to the June Global Outlook video from the Economist Intelligence Unit. My name is Agathe Demarais, and I'm the Global Forecasting Director at EIU. I'm joined today by Cody Feldman, a senior analyst in our global forecasting team based in New York. Today, we're going to discuss how the war in Ukraine will have an impact on food security globally. To start with, Cody, I'm going to turn to you. Russia and Ukraine are both very large producers of wheat. What is the impact of the war in Ukraine on global wheat supplies?
Thanks, Agathe. We've been tracking the impact of the war on a number of commodities, and the results for wheat in particular have been quite striking. Together, Russia and Ukraine account for 30% of the global wheat trade, even before Russia invaded. And now the combination of logistical factors for Ukraine and Western sanctions on Russia's economy is preventing both countries from being able to supply the world with wheat. To illustrate this, we've put together a map using our commodities data that you'll see on your screen now. This map highlights the world's 84 countries that imported wheat from Russia and Ukraine in 2021. When we studied the proportion of Russian and Ukrainian imports, you'll see that primarily developing economies in the Middle East and Africa region imported their wheat from Russia and Ukraine. Together, these countries represent over 570 million people who could, in a very worst case scenario, lose access to wheat and be exposed to a severe humanitarian crisis. However, there are other major economies that are also top wheat producers, including the US, France, and China. However, some other top producers like India are already curbing their exports, which could also factor into food insecurity in the world. We now expect that wheat prices will go up by 40% this year, which will only make global inflation worse and is likely to raise the risk of food insecurity.
And I assume that other countries are going to try to make up for the loss in wheat supplies. Will the war in Ukraine also complicate these efforts?
That's right, Agathe. And in fact, we're seeing a rapid increase in commodity prices that will directly or indirectly affect the agricultural market overall. One area where we conducted a very similar analysis to the wheat that I was just discussing earlier is fertilizers. And this will remain a critical resource as countries are looking to increase their crop yields. If you look at this other map, you'll see that when it comes to fertilizers, every region in the world has countries that imported at least some of their chemical fertilizers from Russia and Ukraine. In fact, altogether, countries representing 48% of global GDP have some dependency on Russia. The added issue with fertilizers is that, unlike the wheat we just discussed, fertilizers are not as easily replaceable. You'll notice that China was the only top producer of every chemical fertilizer, but Beijing already banned the export of fertilizers last summer to maintain strong domestic agricultural production. Complicating the situation even more, other components within fertilizers are also facing disruption. For example, the natural gas that's used in ammonia fertilizers is also facing severe price disruption. Overall, the combined effect of less wheat and harder to obtain fertilizers is putting significant strains on the world agriculture market and is very likely to exacerbate food insecurity in the world.
Thanks so much, Cody, and thanks to all of you for joining us today. You can always find our latest analysis on our website, www.eiu.com. Thanks for watching us today. See you next month. Goodbye.